And this book, I'd like to say, is as much for the people who don't believe in God, for atheists, for the intellectual scientists who, if you listen to this video, and eventually this book will be put in print, the miracles and the encounters I have had with God since my conversion, I don't expect you to believe them if you don't believe the Bible. It would take you the same faith to believe these testimonies as it would to believe the scriptures of the testimonies of men who had encounters with God from the beginning of time. We have a book called the Bible. There are 66 books. It's personal eyewitness accounts and testimonies, each man giving his personal account of his experience with God. This book is going to be about my personal experience with God, my personal experience with Jesus Christ, my personal experience with angels visiting me in the flesh. So you must have faith, and faith is a gift of God. But at least it's my eyewitness account. These things which you're about to hear actually happened. And I'm here to testify they did happen. My wife and my children on many of these testimonies were there. The best witness I have is God himself. I did not do anything to make these experiences happen. They have begun in my life since I started believing in God. I was an atheist who turned to Jesus Christ, 1963, May the 10th, 10 o'clock at night. At some time in the book, I will give that testimony. I would like to dedicate this book, first of all, to my wife, Betty Sue, who I married when she was 16 years old. She didn't ever think she would marry a preacher. At the time that we got married, I wasn't a believer in anything outside the physical realm, outside of logic and common sense. She was faithful, and God gave her the grace to live an unusual life, because you'll hear, I was called to many hard areas in jungles where she made a wonderful nest and taught our children how to read and write. And so I want to dedicate this book to her. I want to dedicate this book to Jesus Christ, because without him coming that night, choosing the place where him and I would meet, I used the term drinking coffee with him. I had heard about him. I heard people believed in him. I heard people actually believed the Bible. I was not one of those that did. But after you have a personal encounter with Jesus Christ, I call it drinking coffee with Jesus. When you get to know him and you know he knows you, it changes the whole reason you're alive. And so I dedicate it to Jesus Christ. This is his book. It's all about Jesus. It's really not about me. It's about what he can do in a man's life who didn't have any faith or any belief. I was not raised to believe in him. If anything, I was raised not to believe in him. I'd like to dedicate the book also to my 4 children, Valerie, Victor, Valine, and Vaughn, who are all in the full-time ministry right now. They live, they breathe, their experience with Jesus Christ on a daily basis in their own ministries for Jesus.